Ged Killen.
Thank you, Mr Deputy Speaker. When I received the email about this debate asking if there were any countries I would like more information about ahead of the debate, I did think to myself, well, where do I begin? And I don't wish to talk down progress that's been made, because we have made great progress, but the world is still a much smaller and more dangerous place for LGBTI people, whether we like it or not. On the Foreign Office Travel Advice website, in more than 30% of the 225 countries and territories listed, homosexuality or homosexual acts are illegal. In nearly a quarter of them, there is a warning of some kind for LGBTI people travelling to these countries. And while we have the luxury of heeding that advice, as the Honourable Member for Ribble Valley said in the case of UAE, people living there have no such luxury. And the advice that frequently appears for those countries where being LGBTI is legal but frowned upon or not universally accepted is you should be discreet. Imagine living your life that way. It's as absurd as asking someone to be discreet about their height. The advice for countries like Armenia, where homosexuality is legal, says that it's the culture there for same-sex couples to be often seen holding hands and kissing in public. This is common and not necessarily an indicator of sexual orientation. So it's not the act of the same-sex couple holding hands or kissing, it's their sexuality that's the problem. It's heterosexual privilege in action. And it's often that intolerance bubbling under the surface of society that leads to shocking attacks against LGBTI people that we've seen around the world. It's not enough to decriminalise homosexuality. There must be laws protecting the rights and safety of LGBTI people, and an effort to make sure that society catches up with those laws by supporting LGBTI groups working in communities. Unfortunately, that's not the case for too many LGBTI people around the world. Mr Deputy Speaker, it is up to countries like us, progressive countries like ours, to lead the way in global LGBT rights, particularly in Commonwealth countries. But to do so, we must make sure our own house is in order. It's shameful that comprehensive research by the Time for Inclusive Education, the TIE campaign in Scotland, has found that 90% of LGBTI young people experience homophobia, biphobia and transphobia in school, with 27% having attempted suicide as a result of that bullying. And I agree with my honourable friend, the member for Liverpool West Derby, about Section 28, but in some ways we haven't moved on in that regard. There's still a hangover from that legislation. Happy to give way.
Thank you for giving way. And again, he's making a very, very powerful speech, and many contributors to the debate have spoken about the example that we have set to the rest of the world. But he is absolutely right to say that we have to make sure that our own house is in order. And despite the huge progress in Great Britain and the Republic of Ireland, we still see Northern Ireland significantly lagging behind. And of course, he's mentioned transphobia. I'm meeting one of my trans activist groups in Cardiff this evening, a support group. We need to do much more across the whole of the United Kingdom and the Republic of Ireland on the issue of trans community issues.
I thank my honourable friend for his point, which I agree with completely, and I'll come on to talk about LGBT rights elsewhere in the UK. The TIE campaign has found that often teachers don't know what they're allowed to talk about in schools, and they don't feel adequately trained to tackle LGBTI issues, and they seek to change that. And I welcome the excellent work they've done and continue to do. And just today they've managed to secure the support of the first Catholic priest to back the campaign. And Father Morton is from Cambuslang in my constituency, and he joins other faith leaders in the Scottish Episcopal Church and the Church of Scotland, as well as teachers, trade unions, charities and politicians from all parties, in recognising that we need action for LGBTI young people at school. It's very important that we have these examples set by leading figures in society. Legislation and government is also part of that leading role in changing societal attitudes. So I wonder, Mr Deputy Speaker, what example the Prime Minister set when she welcomed into the heart of government a party hardly famed for its support for LGBT rights. When I got on a plane in Glasgow and land in Belfast, not far from where my husband was born, despite not having left the UK, our marriage is no longer recognised, because the DUP, ignoring public opinion and blocking the will of the Northern Ireland Assembly, refuses to extend the rights to people in Northern Ireland that are enjoyed by citizens in the rest of Ireland and the UK. Basic rights. Members of this House who now find themselves propping up the government are on record making comments such as, "I am pretty repulsed by gay and lesbianism. I think it is wrong. I think that those people harm themselves and, without caring about it, harm society. That doesn't mean to say that I hate them. I mean I hate what they do." LGBT people harming society. It's shocking comments, shocking comments. The Prime Minister talks about how far we still have to go, yet this is the company she is keeping in government.
I'm very grateful to the honourable gentleman for giving way. He's making a very powerful speech. Does he agree with me that the DUP would do well to look south to the Republic of Ireland, which, despite coming from the Catholic tradition, as I do myself, and I was delighted to hear about the Roman Catholic priest supporting Ty, despite coming from the Catholic tradition in the Republic of Ireland, we now have gay marriage recognised and a gay Taoiseach. Does he agree with me that the DUP would do well to follow in the footsteps of their fellow countrymen?
I thank the Honourable Lady for her point. I agree absolutely with her, and they would do well to look east to Scotland in the example that we are setting there as well. As I say, it's a short journey from Glasgow to Belfast, but what a change in rights when you do that. £1 billion was the cost of that agreement that held this government together. Why wasn't LGBTI equality for all UK citizens part of that deal? What kind of example can we hope to set for the rest of the world when we reward homophobia with a place in government? Silence and inaction is not an option. It's time for the government to put its mouth where its money is.
Ian Stewart.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker.